Hare Krishna. Today is Shravana Purnima, the full moon day of the Vedic lunar month of Shravana Masa, which is also known as Balarama Purnima, the most auspicious appearance day of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Supreme Lord in His divine incarnation as Lord Balarama. Today, I shall try to explain in brief about the infinite and unlimited glories of Lord Balarama. Before we begin, I shall chant the Prarthana mantra, the prayers to Lord Balarama. Halayudha namastestu, namaste mushalayudha, namaste revati kanta, namaste bhaktavatsala, namaste balinam shreshtha, namaste dharani dhara, pralambare namastestu, trahimam krishna purvacha. So Lord Balarama is explained in the Vedic scriptures to be the first expansion of the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. In all the Vedic scriptures, especially in the Bhagavad Gita and in the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is firmly established that the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Supreme Absolute Truth, is Krishna, as stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam 1.3.28, Eshe ete chamshakala pumsaha Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam, that the original Supreme Personality of Godhead is Sri Krishna. In the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, text number 8, Krishna says, Aham sarvasya prabhavaha mattaha sarvam pravartate. And also in Bhagavad Gita 7.7, Krishna says, Mattaha parataram na anyat kinchidasti dhananjaya. That the ultimate supreme absolute truth, the source of even all the expansions and incarnations of the Supreme Lord is Krishna. And the Supreme Lord Krishna has got many expansions. And among the infinite expansions of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, the first expansion is Balarama. So it is explained in the Vedic scriptures that Balarama is the Amsha Tattva, the potency, the principle of expansion of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. Lord Balarama further expands into many divine unlimited Vibhu Amshas or Bhagavat Tattva Amshas of the Supreme Lord, and they are explained in the Vedic scriptures to be Sankarshanaha Karanato Yashai Garbhodashai Chapayobdhishai Sheshascha Yasyam Shakala Sanitya Nandakhyaramaha Sharanam Mamastu. Lord Balarama further expands himself in the spiritual world, in the spiritual realm as Sankarshana, and then for the creation of this entire material cosmic manifestation, Lord Balarama further expands as Karanodakashai Vishnu, further as Garbhodakashai Vishnu, and then as Kshirodakashai Vishnu, and also Ananta Shesha, who holds up the multitude of universes on his thousands of hoods, is only a sub-part of Lord Balarama. Lord Balarama's glories are also very beautifully explained even in all the Vedas and in the Upanishads. In the Upanishads, in Katha Upanishad 1.2.23, it is stated that Nayamatma balahinena labhyaha na medhaya va bahuna shrutena yam evaisha vrunute tena labhyaha tasyaisha atma vivrunute tanum swam. That one cannot achieve self-realization or God realization without the spiritual strength endowed by Lord Balarama. So therefore, to make spiritual progress, one requires spiritual strength or bala, and that spiritual bala or strength is granted by the mercy, by the blessings of Lord Balarama. And therefore, without the spiritual strength given by Lord Balarama, it is not possible to make advancement on the path of self-realization or God realization. So, specifically in the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the reservoir, the repository of the infinite pastimes of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, specifically in the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Dashama Skandha is exclusively dedicated to the description of the most enchanting, the most beautiful, the most attractive pastimes of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. Lord Balarama appeared, we all very well know, and it is a well-known fact that Lord Shri Krishna appeared on Shravana Krishna Ashtami, on the 8th day of the dark fortnight of the Vedic lunar month of Shravana Masa. And exactly 1 year and 8 days earlier, on the day of Shravana Purnima, is the divine appearance of the Supreme Lord in his incarnation as Lord Balarama. So Balarama appeared exactly 1 year and 8 days before the divine appearance and descent of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna. So we find in the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, which contains a total of 90 chapters, out of which the first 40 chapters are devoted to the description of the most intimate and confidential pastimes of the Supreme Lord in Vrindavana Dhama. These are explained in the first 40 chapters of the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So, the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam begins with the inquiry of Parikshit Maharaj, who is hearing the message, the teachings of the Srimad Bhagavatam from Shukadeva Goswami. So, Parikshit inquires from Shukadeva Goswami about the pastimes and the divine leelas performed by Lord Shri Krishna. He requests Shukadeva Goswami to explain in complete detail about the wonderful and most divine transcendental pastimes of Lord Shri Krishna. And he specifically asks questions about the descent and about the pastimes of Krishna in Vrajabhumi, Vrindavana, in Mathura, and in the realm of Dwaraka. So while inquiring, one of the questions of Parikshit Maharaj was specifically pertaining to the mystery of the appearance of Lord Balarama. In 10.1.8, Parikshit inquires that Rohinya stanaya prokto Ramaha sankarshanastvaya Devakya garbha sambandhaha kuto dehantaram vina. Balarama is known as Rohinyas Tanayaha Proktaha. He is known as the son of Vasudeva and Rohini. But he is also known as Devakya Garbha Sambandhaha. He is also known as the seventh child, the seventh son of Mother Devaki. So, how is it to be properly understood? What is the mystery that Balarama is the seventh son of Devaki and Vasudeva, but he is also known as the son of Rohini? So, this was the question about the mystery of the appearance of Lord Balarama, which is very beautifully explained and revealed by Shukadeva Goswami in the second chapter of the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. In 10.2.5, Shukadeva Goswami says that Saptamo Vaishnavam Dhama Yam Anantam Prachakshate Garbho Babhuva Devakya Harsha Shoka Vivagdhanaha. After the cruel tyrant King Kamsa mercilessly killed the 6 sons of Devaki and Vasudeva, Eketam Anurundhana Gnatayaha Paryupasate Hateshu Shatsu Baleshu Devakya Augrasenina. Another name of Kamsa is Ugraseni, or the son of Ugrasena. After Kamsa had mercilessly killed the first 6 sons of Devaki and Vasudeva, after that Saptamaha, the 7th child of Devaki and Vasudeva, was none other than, it is explained here that Saptamo Vaishnavam Dhama, the rest of the basis, the foundation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna or Lord Vishnu, and that is Yam Anantam Prachakshate, who is also known as Ananta or Ananta Shesha or Adi Shesha. So that is none other than Lord Balarama. Saptamo Vaishnavam Dhama Yam Anantam Prachakshate Garbho Babhuva Devakya Harsha Shoka Vivagdhanaha. Lord Balarama descended from the spiritual world to the womb of Mother Devaki, and this was a cause of great jubilation as well as some lamentation for Devaki, because Devaki was very happy and jubilant that the Supreme Lord, as Lord Balarama, had now taken shelter of her womb. But she was also in anxiety, citing the cruel behavior of Kamsa. So when Lord Balarama entered the womb of Mother Devaki, Bhagavan api Vishwatma viditva Kamsajam bhayam Yadunam Nijanathanam Yogamayam Upadishad. At that time, the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna called for Yogamaya. Yogamaya is the internal potency of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. So Lord Shri Krishna in the spiritual world, in the eternal kingdom of God in Goloka Vrindavana, he called Yogamaya and explained that Devakya Jathare Garbham Sheshakyam Dhama Mamakam Tat Sannikrishya Rohinya Udare Sanniveshaya. Lord Shri Krishna gave the specific task of transferring. He first explained that Lord Balarama, Ananta Shesha, is now in the womb of Mother Devaki, and I give you the task of Devakya Jathare Garbham Sheshakyam Dhama Mamakam Tat Sannikrishya, to transfer Lord Balarama from the womb of Devaki to Devakya, to Rohinya, to Mother Rohini. So in this way, the Supreme Lord further instructed Yogamaya to accomplish this work of transferring the child Balarama from the womb of Devaki to the womb of Rohini, and after that Krishna says that Atha aham amshabhagena devakyaha putratam shubhe prapsyami tvam yashodayam nandapatnyam bhavishyasi. After you do this work of transferring Balarama from Devaki to Rohini, I, along with all my expansions and incarnations, with all my parts and subparts, I shall enter the womb of Mother Devaki to be the eighth child of Devaki. And Lord Krishna also instructed Yogamaya to appear as the daughter of Nanda and Yashoda. So that is the child who was exchanged later on by Vasudeva. After going to Nanda Gokula, he kept baby Krishna and brought the baby of Nanda and Yashoda, the female child, that is who is none other than Yogamaya, was brought back by Vasudeva. So all this was now done by Yogamaya, the internal potency of the Supreme Lord. It is further explained that Garbhe Pranite Devakya Rohinim Yoga Nidra, which is another name of Yogamaya, after she transferred Lord Balarama from the womb of Devaki to Rohini, Tathetyom iti tadvachaha, she accepted, Yogamaya accepted this order of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. She came to the Bhuloka, to the earthly planet, and she transferred the baby Balarama to the womb of Mother Rohini. So everyone came to understand and think that the seventh pregnancy of Devaki was a miscarriage, but the actual fact was that the seventh child of Devaki was transferred by Yogamaya from the womb of Devaki to Rohini, and therefore this is the transcendental mystery and the secret behind the appearance of Lord Balarama, and therefore Lord Balarama is simultaneously known as the seventh child of Devaki as well as the son of Rohini. So later on the day of Shravana Purnima, that is today, the full moon day of the Vedic lunar month of Shravana, Lord Balarama appeared as the son of Rohini and Vasudeva in the most sacred land of Vrajabhumi, Vrindavana. And exactly 1 year and 8 days after that, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna, appeared as the son of Devaki and Vasudeva. Vasudeva, by the inspiration of the Supreme Lord, immediately after the appearance of Lord Krishna at midnight under the asterim of Rohini Nakshatra, he carried the baby Krishna. He took Krishna across the river Yamuna and came to Nanda Gokula, and in this way he exchanged Krishna with the daughter of Nanda and Yashoda, who was born simultaneously as per the direction and the supreme plan of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. So the babies were exchanged, and therefore Krishna initially was brought up by his foster parents Nanda and Yashoda in the divine realm of Gokula. So in Nanda Gokula, in Vrajabhumi Vrindavana, Krishna and Balarama grew together and displayed the most charming, the most enchanting, the most captivating and the most attractive childhood pastimes. The Bala Leela of Krishna Balarama is the most attractive feature of the divine pastimes of the Supreme Lord, and these are very, very beautifully explained in the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. We also find the description of the name giving ceremony or the Namakarana of Krishna Balarama, which is performed by the great sage Garga Muni, and this is explained in chapter 8 of the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, when Garga Muni was sent by Vasudeva to Vrindavana, and when Garga Muni arrived to Vrindavana, he was very warmly received and honored by Nanda Baba, by Nanda Maharaj. And Nanda Maharaj very keenly requested Garga Muni to perform the Namakarana, the name giving ceremony of these two childs, that is Krishna and Balarama. These very names were also given by Garga Muni in this Namakarana, in this name giving ceremony. So now Garga Muni very nicely he explains the transcendental divine features of the Supreme Lord, and in accordance with these divine qualities, Garga Muni he keeps their names. So first, the Namakarana of Balarama was performed by Garga Muni, and this is explained in 10.8.12 and 13 as in 10.8.12, Garga Muni says that while giving the name of Lord Balarama, he says, Ayam hi rohini putro ramayan suhrudo gunaihi akhyaasyate rama iti baladhikyad balam viduhu yadunam aprithak bhavad sankarshanam ushantyapi. Garga Muni gave three very important and principal names of Lord Balarama. Ayam hi rohini putro ramayan suhrudo gunaihi akhyaasyate rama iti. The first name given by Garga Muni is Rama. In fact, in the Vedic literature, it is explained that the Supreme Lord has got three incarnations as Rama. One as Raghupati Rama, that is Lord Ramachandra. The second as Parashurama, as the son of Renuka and Jamadagni, and who had his weapon as the Parashu, as the axe. And the third Rama incarnation is Lord Balarama. So his name is Rama because Rama means one who gives supreme pleasure. And as explained in the Padma Purana, Ramante yogino nante satyanande chidatmani iti Ramapadena sau Parabrahma abhidhiyate. The Parabrahma, the Supreme Absolute Truth, is known as Rama because he is the source of infinite, unlimited pleasure. So therefore, his name is Rama because he gives pleasure, Ramayati, he gives pleasure to all the living beings and specifically to the family members of the Yadu dynasty, to all his Suhrit Ganaha. So the first name is Rama, the second name is Baladhikyad Balam Viduhu, because of great strength, of infinite strength, he is known as Bala, and combined he is also known as Balarama. He is also known as Sankarshana because Yadunam Aprithak Bhavad Sankarshanam Ushantyapi, because he would unite the families of the Yadus and Nanda Maharaj. Therefore, he will also be known as Sankarshana. So these are the three principal names given by Garga Muni during the Namakarana of Lord Balarama. They are Rama, Bala and Sankarshana. In fact, in the Garga Samhita, there is even the Sahasranama, the 1,000 divine names of Lord Balarama have also been delineated and mentioned in the scripture known as Garga Samhita. We also find now in the Srimad Bhagavatam the most enchanting and attractive pastimes of Krishna Balarama in the divine realm of Vrajabhumi Vrindavana. In 10.8.21 it is explained, Shukadeva Goswami says that Kalena Vrajatalpena Gokule Ramakeshavau Janubhyam Sahaparnibhyam Ringamano Vijahratuhu. Kalena, in course of time, Vrajatalpena, as time passed, Krishna and Balarama grew, and in the divine realm of Gokula, Gokule Ramakeshavau, Rama Keshava, that is Balarama and Krishna, they now started moving around. How did they move around? Janubhyam Sahaparnibhyam, on their knees and with their hands. So basically now Krishna and Balarama started crawling. So now we find the crawling pastimes of Krishna and Balarama are so beautifully narrated here. Ringamano Vijahratuhu, as they started wandering around by crawling. In fact, this is such a wonderful pastime of the Supreme Lord, the childhood, the Balalila of Krishna and Balarama, that a very, very great devotee has offered this wonderful prayer that Shrutim apare smritim itare bharatam anye bhajantu bhavabhitaha aham iha nandam vande yasyalinde param brahma. That in order to attain self-realization, God realization, in order to attain liberation or moksha, people may devote themselves, may pursue the path of Vedic study or the study of the Smriti Shastras, of the Puranas. Someone else may take up the study of the Mahabharata. So various paths of self-realization may be taken up by different practitioners of spiritual life, but the easiest, the best and the most effective path is that the devotee prays that Aham iha nandam vande, I just offer my, I take shelter of Nanda Maharaj, Nanda Baba, in whose courtyard Parabrahma, that supreme absolute truth, is crawling around. Yasyalinde Param Brahma. So what all the Vedas and Puranas and all the systems of yoga and tapasya are searching after, are seeking, that Parabrahma is now crawling in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj, of Nanda Baba. And how while crawling, their pastimes, their leela are explained in 10.8.22 to 10.8.25 as तावङ्घ्रियुग्ममनुकृष्य सरीसृपन्तौ घोषप्रघोषरुचिरं व्रजकगदमेषु तन्नादहृष्टमनसावनुसृत्य लोकं मुग्धप्रभीतवदुपेयतुरन्ति मात्रोः. When Krishna and Balarama were crawling on Vrajakagdama, in the dirt, in the mud created by the cow dung and cow urine of Rajamandala, which is not exactly dirt, it is although mentioned as Kardama, it is actually the most sacred mud dug by the hoof of the cows of Raja Vrindavana. So as Krishna and Balarama began to crawl in the mud of Vrindavana, in the soil of Vrindavana, they were enchanted, they were captivated by the sound of the ankle bells of especially the gopis, the elderly cowherd women of Vrindavana. As they walked, they Krishna and Balarama mistook that maybe they are our mothers, Rohini and Yashoda, and they started following them. And as the gopis turned around, Krishna and Balarama looked up to them and saw that actually it is not their mothers, that is Yashoda and Rohini, and Mugdha, in great innocence, Prabhitavad, they became a little fearful, oh, that it is not our mothers, and again rushed back, Upeyatuhu Antimatroho, towards their own mothers, Yashoda and Rohini, and all the gopis, all the residents of Vrindavana thus enjoyed these sweet pastimes of Krishna and Balarama. तन्मातरौ निजसुतौ घृणया स्नुवन्त्यौ पङ्काङ्गरागरुचिरावुपगृह्य दोर्भ्यां दत्त्वा स्तनं प्रपिबतो स्म मुखं निरीक्ष्य मुग्धस्मिताल्पदशनं ययतु pramodam. And Yashoda and Rohini with great motherly affection would pick up Krishna and Balarama, and as they would feed them their milk, they observed the first teething of Krishna and Balarama. Smita Alpa, Krishna and Balarama, when they would smile while having the milk of their mothers, it would be revealed that their small teeth is coming, and Yashoda and Rohini would be merged in transcendental bliss to see the first teething of Krishna and Balarama. It is further explained that Yarhyangana Darshaniya Kumara Leela Antarvraje Tarabala Pragrihita Puchaihi Vatseritastata Ubhavanukrishyamano Prekshantya Ujjita Griha Jahushurhasantyaha. Within the house of Nanda Maharaj, in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj, the gopis, all the cowherd women would greatly enjoy and relish the divine childhood pastimes of the babies Balarama and Krishna. Sometimes Krishna and Balarama, Vatser Puchaha, they would hold on to the tail to the tail of the calves, and the calves would become alerted. They would become a bit afraid that somebody is holding our tail, and they would start running. And in this way, Krishna and Balarama would be dragged by the calves in the holy land of Vrindavana. When the gopis would see that how Krishna and Balarama are being dragged and the calves are running towards their mothers, the cows, they would stop all their household activities and merge themselves in these very, very sweet and enchanting pastimes, and Jahrushuhu, they would laugh in great relish and delight, and in this way they enjoyed these divine pastimes of Krishna and Balarama. Meanwhile, Yashoda and Rohini, as Krishna and Balarama became more and more active and started wandering here and there, a little away, they would always be in great anxiety and great concern for the safety of Krishna and Balarama. Krishna and Balarama, who are the supreme original personalities of Godhead, who give protection to all the living beings and to everyone in this world, are now being cared for and are shown great concern, intense affection by Yashoda and Rohini towards their safety. So these are the sweet pastimes of Krishna and Balarama. Shringagnidam shtyasi jaladvijakantакебhyaha krida paravati chalau swasutau nishedhum grihyani kartumapi yatra natajjananyau Shekata apatudalam manaso navastham. When Mother Yashoda and Rohini were concerned that where Krishna and Balarama would face any danger from the horns of cows, or by fire, or by animals with claws and teeth such as monkeys, dogs and cats, or by kantaka, by thorns, or any other weapons on the ground. So in this way, Yashoda and Rohini, because Krishna and Balarama were ati chalau, very, very hyperactive, they would always go here and there and would not keep quiet even for a moment. They would just be wandering everywhere all across Vrajabhumi, Vrindavana, and therefore Yashoda and Rohini would be in great anxiety and in intense feelings of how our children are in a safe condition from all these dangers. They would actually be in the highest stage of samadhi or meditation upon Parabrahma, on the supreme absolute truth, Krishna and Balarama. Further, in 10.8.26, it is explained by Shukadeva Goswami. Now, Krishna and Balarama graduate themselves from crawling pastimes to walking pastimes. So one can just think that even in crawling they are so atichalav, they are so restless. So now once they start walking, what more mischievous and enchanting pastimes they are going to perform. काले नाल्पेन राजर्षे रामः कृष्णश्च गोकुले अघृष्टजानुभिर्पद्भिः विचक्रमतुरञ्जसा. So now in the divine realm of Nanda Gokula, Krishna and Rama, that is Krishna and Balarama, aghृष्टजानुभिः, without the support of their knees, they learned how to stand on their 2 feet and started to walk around in Vraja Vrindavana, in Nanda Gokula. So, evam tatastu Bhagavan Krishno vayasyer Vraja Balakaihi saharamo Vrajastrinam chikride janayan mudam. Lord Krishna and Balarama now began to play with the other children of Nanda Gokula, thus awakening the great transcendental bliss of all the cowherd women. And Krishna and Balarama would be so mischievous in the company of the Gopa Balakas, in the company of the other children of Nanda Gokula, that they performed so many mischievous activities that after some time the cowherd women came and gave a list of many complaints about the mischievous activities of Krishna and Balarama. Krishnasya gopyo ruchiram vikshya kaumara chapalam shrinvantya kilatan matuhu iti hochuhu samagataha. So they all made a great gathering and assembly, came to the house of Nanda Baba and Yashoda, and now from 10.8.29 to 31 are the complaints of Krishna and Balarama lodged by the cowherd women of Vrindavana. They say that Vatsan munchan kvachida samaye krosha sanjataha saha steyam swadvatti atha dadhipayaha kalpite steya yogaihi madkan bhokshan vibhajati sachen natti bhandam bhinatti dravyalabhe sagriha kupito yati upakrosyato kan. The list of complaints begins with Vatsan munchan kvachida samaye. These Krishna and Balarama enter into our cowherd sheds, into the cow sheds, into our goshalas, and Vatsan are the calves. The calves which are tied, and normally at the time of milking the calves are taken to the cows. So this Krishna and Balarama enter our goshala, enter our cow sheds, and free the calves before the time of the milking of the cows, and in this way the calves go and to their heart's content drink all the milk from their mothers. And when the cowherd women and the men go to milk the cow, it would be almost finished already by the calves. So Vatsan munchan kvachida samaye krosha sanjataha saha. So when the master of the house, when the householders come and they shout, they become angry, your child Krishna and Balarama, they give the most enchanting smile by which all the people of Vrindavana forget all anger. Sometimes Krishna and Balarama devises he is very expert in inventing and discovering and devising all kinds of means for steyam. Steyam means for stealing. Steyam swadati atha dadhipayaha, for stealing our dadhi payaha, for stealing our curd and milk and butter, which he eats and drinks along with all his friends. So sometimes Krishna and Balarama, they markan bhokshyati. Marka means monkeys. They call all the monkeys, and he then divides all the stolen milk and curd and butter to all the monkeys. And when the monkeys also have to their complete fill, and then he further tries to give to the monkeys. And when the monkeys reject, Krishna says, this butter and milk, and they are not good. It is not even good for the monkeys to eat. And in this way, Krishna then breaks the pots of the butter and milk and curd that are kept. So vibhajati sachena ati bhandam bhinatti. He then breaks the pot, saying that this milk and curd are no good. And sometimes Krishna and Balarama sagriha kupito yati upakroshyato kan. If he does not get the opportunity to steal the butter or milk, he would agitate the small children who may be sleeping in the home by pinching them, and when they begin crying, Krishna and Balarama would flee from the homes. It is further explained that hastagrahe rachaiti vidhim pithakolu khaladyesh chidram hi antag nihitavayunaha shikya bhandeshu tadvit dhvantagare dhritamaniganam swangamagtha praditpam kale gopyo yerhi grihakrityeshu suvyagra chittaha. So in order to protect our stock of milk and curd from the stealing of Krishna and Balarama, the gopis say that we tie it in a high place, so that the small children will not be able to access it, will not be able to get these pots. So when the curds and milk are kept high on a swing hanging from the ceiling, Krishna and Balarama are so smart and so intelligent that they pile up all the various planks. Hastagrahe, when it is out of reach of their hands, they pitha uluka, they pile up all the planks and mortars kept for grinding spices, and then they climb up and steal these pots. Sometimes, in order to protect our stock of butter and milk, the gopis say that we hide it in a dark room, in a dark place. So, but still, these two childs, Krishna and Balarama, seem to have some divine light, some divine effulgence, due to which even when it is kept in a dark room, they enter and they are able to locate our butter and milk. So further in 10.8.31, the gopis say that Evam dhashtyanushati kurute mehanadi nivastau steyopayed virachita kritihi supratiko yathaste ittham stribhihi sabhayanayana shri mukhalokhinibhir vyakhyatagtha prahasitamukhi nahi upalabdhumaichat. As the gopis continue to explain and giving their complaints that they are so expert in the art of steya, in stealing butter and milk, and that's why our Krishna and Balarama are also known as Makhanchor, or the thieves of butter, milk and curd. So they are so expert that whatever we do, whatever plan or whatever we plan to protect our stock of milk, curd and butter, these two boys along with their friends somehow devise an even better plan, and they are successful in stealing our butter, milk and curd. So as the gopis were giving all this list of complaints to Mother Yashoda and Rohini, and Yashoda and Rohini, now as they turned towards Krishna and Balarama, Balarama and Krishna gave supratiko yathaste, gave such an innocent look that all the gopis, Yashoda, Rohini, they thought, no, 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 it is impossible for such innocent children to commit such acts of stealing. And in this way, although they were now prepared to chastise Krishna and Balarama, looking at their most innocent faces, Yashoda and Rohini would think that it is not possible for them to have committed this theft, and they did not chastise Krishna and Balarama. In fact, they would go and embrace and pick up Krishna and Balarama. So this is just a small glimpse into the eternal, infinite, most attractive pastimes of Krishna and Balarama in the eternal realm of Goloka Vrindavana. The purpose, the objective of the Srimad Bhagavatam is to attract our heart and soul to these most enchanting pastimes of the Supreme Absolute Truth, the Supreme Lord Krishna and Balarama. And Krishna and Balarama are inviting every Jivatma, all the living entities of this universe, that why are you rotting in this material world, in the horrible, in the terrible cycle of birth and death? If you surrender to us, if you render devotional service unto Krishna Balarama, you, me and everyone in this material world can become free from this cycle of birth and death and go back to the spiritual world, to the eternal kingdom of Goloka Vrindavana, and engage in the infinite, loving, blissful service of the Supreme Lord Shri Shri Radha Krishna and Shri Shri Krishna Balarama. The Srimad Bhagavatam describes many more pastimes of Krishna and Balarama. Lord Balarama also killed the very powerful demon called Dhenukasura, who came in the form of an ass demon. Later he also killed the very powerful demon Pralambasura by just his mushti, by just his fist. And later on in the Srimad Bhagavatam, there are many more pastimes of Lord Balarama in Mathura, Vrindavana, as well as in Hastinapura. So today is the most auspicious divine appearance day of Lord Balarama. So we have just have explained, given a glimpse of the appearance of Lord Balarama, which is a great mystery, and also of his the sweetest childhood pastimes of Lord Balarama along with Shri Krishna in Vrindavana. We pray that Lord Shri Krishna Balarama bestow all spiritual strength, spiritual knowledge, and spiritual upliftment to the entire world, so that everyone attains the highest ultimate perfection of the human form of life. Thank you very much. Please pray, take shelter of Lord Balarama today and every day of your life, and make your life successful. Thank you very much. Shri Shri Krishna Balarama ki Jai. Hare Krishna.